Inside Carolina. I wanted to ask you about, some of the conversations you've had with Hubert, not just for yourself individually, but the center position in general. Obviously, that was a big point of emphasis for them hitting the portal. What has Hubert kind of communicated to you guys about just the vision for what he wants out of that center position?
I wouldn't say that he really spoke to us about what he wants specifically from the center position, but he just kind of has, I would say, us personally talking, just kind of saying what he needs from me and like what he wants me to do for me to be the best version for North Carolina and for us to win most of the games.
Ariel, by the Portland Tribune, can you take us through your basketball journey? When did you first pick up a ball in Estonia, your decision to play in Madrid, and then your decision to play in the States?
I would say I started practicing first when I was 8 years old, but as long as I can remember, I've always had a basketball in my hand because my dad loves basketball, he used to play it, and then as long as I can remember, I've always had a basketball in my hand. But I would say when I was 15, I moved to Madrid to go to Real Madrid Academy, practice there, and then when I was about my last year there, I decided to go to Arizona, and I was there 3 years, and now I'm here.
So being away from home is no big deal?
Yeah. I would say I've been a long time away from home, so I'm kind of trying to get used to it, but I always still get homesick.
Henry, what was it, Adam Smith with Inside Carolina, what was it about this place that you sort of just identified with so quickly? Because when you're in the portal, you're here visiting, right after that, like what was it about this place that stuck out? And did you have this place in your mind even before you got in the portal?
I did not have any place in mind specifically when I entered the portal because it was almost right after the season. We had just lost a game. I kind of was getting used to that. We just had ended the season. It was a hard loss. But I would say just coming on campus, talking to coaches. Obviously, my goal is to get to the NBA, and having all these coaches that being in the NBA level, a coach at the NBA level, they're all great minds. They kind of know what you need to do. And just seeing the campus, seeing the fans here, it just felt different. And like the whole city felt like a great place to be. And like it just is an amazing place to play basketball at.
Because you didn't visit anywhere else, did you?
No, I just visited here.
Henry, Michael Coe, WCHL, ChapelRow.com. How instrumental were the veterans on this team, Seth and James Brown? How key were they to getting you to come here to Carolina?
Seth was very key for it because he was one of the returning guards, and I kind of just talked to him on my visit and kind of see where he was at and how he saw Chapel Hill and kind of seeing what role he's going to have next year and what he wanted to be in, and kind of talking to like Coach Davis about it too, because I definitely watched a couple tapes of Seth playing. Obviously, I'd seen a couple games of his, but I kind of wanted to see more of it and how he really facilitates. And him, the way he goes downhill, I think we're gonna complement each other so great. I'm gonna be able to pop. He's gonna have more room to go downhill, and he's an amazing passer, like off the pick and rolls. He sees the pocket pass really good. We have all summer worked on it, and like he's very good at seeing lobs late. And the bigs kind of have to respect his athleticism because he's a freak athlete. Like he can dunk on anybody if they're 7 foot or not. So they have to make the decision early, so that opens up the passes late.
Henry, Rob Baxley, Fayetteville Observer. What were those boxes Hubert wanted you to check as a Carolina center coming here?
I feel like he always has I would say the same for everybody. Kind of you have to just give 100% effort and always be detailed in your approach. That's, I think, what he requires of all his players. But I think partially what he really liked about me was how I can alter shots and block shots. And I think that's what they were missing a little bit last year, and that's what he was looking for.
How much have you heard about offensive rebounding, too, since being here?
Well, it's a big key in practice. I think we hear it every practice that we're not going enough. But I think we're doing a really good job this year of going to offensive rebounds. And personally, last year in my college career, I think that was the area I was pretty good at. And I definitely have to get better at defensive rebounding compared to last year to help the team out.
What are, you're just starting 24/7, you said not to stay on the What are some of those things that you were just alluding to have to get better at offensive rebounding? What are some of the things you're working on in order to get to that point? And what is a point of emphasis here specific about offensive rebounding that maybe you didn't get elsewhere?
I mentioned defensive rebound getting better, but for defensive rebounds, one thing is doing the box out, but I think I also have to get better at releasing after the box out to go for the rebound. I feel like last year I kind of settled at boxing out my guy and just kind of being happy with him not getting the ball. But this year I think I definitely have to do a better job of hitting my guy and getting back to the play and trying to get the ball.
Well, last week we talked to Hubert, and he said one of the reasons he brought you in and some of the other guys was to be better at offensive rebounding. They've always pushed that here in this program. So what is the message with respect to offensive rebounding that you get here that's enforced more here than maybe wasn't elsewhere?
I would say the offensive rebounding, you have to go. There's no other option. Like, it's your role in the team. If you're in one of those positions that has to go, you have to go every time, and there's no question about it. Maybe you can go 10 times and get one, but it's going to look great for the team. Maybe you're able to not get the rebound, but you tip it a couple times and you get it to one of your players and you get extra possession, and it's going to help the team win.
What do you enjoy more, putback slam or swatting something right at the rim?
Oh, it's a good question. I think both of them are pretty fun. I would say blocking shots is even better.
And Brendan Marks from The Athletic, Hubert has traditionally played a lot of drop coverage defensively. One of the things you mentioned last week is with you, we can play a lot more multiple ball screen coverages. Just what's your level of comfort with those, and what do you think your defensive versatility will bring to the team?
North Carolina is an ice program, so I think they've been traditionally more far off the ball screen. But I personally have never played ice like as a main coverage for a team. So I definitely have asked so many questions from ex-players to Hubert Davis every day. And I think we have kind of found a good medium of starting at the ball level and working down from there. So you soften like how the guard can just downhill sprint down, and you kind of soften that end. But obviously, then more people need to be pulled in, and they kind of have to help or bump the roller. So it's a little bit different.
Grant Sasser.
Go ahead.
Grant Sasser, tutorials on the side. I know that there's a little bit of different rules when it comes to playing basketball in Europe compared to America. What were some of the adjustments you had to make early on in your career as you made the transition from going from Europe to America?
I would say the biggest thing is being strong with the ball, because I would say in Europe, like if they literally touch your wrist or they touch your hand right here, like they're gonna call it a foul automatically, or like you can't even really go with two hands for a rake in Europe because they will just assume that you got their hand as well. But in the U.S., they don't really call it, so you have to kind of keep the ball high and be strong with it when you drive, because I would say it's normal to get fouled. Somebody's gonna hit your arm, you just gotta go play through it, and that's something I think as a freshman I definitely struggle with.
And speaking of defensive rebounding, how much has Sean May helped you kind of get better at that aspect? Because we know when he was a player, he was fantastic at rebounding.
Yeah, I think he's definitely worked on the releasing part. We have talked about it, and just seeing where you hit, and you have to go get back to the play. Like, you just can't settle and like try to push your guy out, but you got to also help others to get the rebound if it doesn't come your way.
Henry, along those lines, I can only imagine that they're showing you some Armando Bacot film, like the way he fit in the stuff they did here. Is that part of sort of the learning process, watching some tape of him and the way they used him?
Yeah, he was an amazing player here, obviously. We have watched a couple clips of him and how he plays, and as a team, as a whole, we have watched a lot of like the past teams rebounding, like Harrison Ingram or Armando Bacot. They were both phenomenal at it, defensively, offensively. So it's kind of what you just have to pick up and see what they're doing.
How much did you talk to Caleb Love and Coach Robinson about Carolina, and how much influence did that have in your decision?
It had a lot of influence. I'm very close with Caleb, and just from last year, I kind of asked him what he thought about this program and how his relationships were with the coaches and how he saw me fit into this program. And everything he said checked all the boxes for me. He said it was a great place to be here. Like, they're definitely going to push me. You're going to get better here. And I would say that's all I could ask for. So,
Henry, Noah Westcott, Tar Heel 24/7. What have your early impressions been of Caleb Wilson? Has there been a moment in pickup or in practice that has been a wow moment for you, and how excited are you to be able to play with him?
I would say when he first got here, like, I knew he was a great player, but just his ability to read a game and like how good of a passer he is, I had no clue about. And just like the first couple of practices, I was in awe, and I was like, this is great playing with him, being on the same team, because he was throwing me loves. He could see like fast break, he would push the ball and give you a bounce pass, and you're like, he really plays like a wing or a guard, like who's ball like supposed to be a playmaker, because he would push the ball and like throw it ahead, and he's really good at it. That's probably the biggest like surprise I had about him.
Tell us about I understand what GeoGuessr is, but why do you enjoy that game so much? And tell me about, I guess, just introducing that to some of the other guys on the team and getting to play that with them.
I'd say I know Jaron and Kyan have tried it too, but yeah, it was definitely. I feel like I just find it fun. It's kind of just get put in a random place in the world and kind of trying to figure out where you are. I think it's you kind of get to see other places in a way where you don't travel. You just kind of look around, see the different places. I don't know how to describe it. It just seems fun.
You said that you're maybe playing it with Kyle some in free time in class.
I won't say in class. We never do it in class. We're all great. We're all great students.
Henry, what's it been like? Henry, what's it been like playing with Kai and just kind of getting to know his game? We obviously know the shooter that he is coming out of Colorado State, but just taking the court with him, what's it been like playing?
I think we have had a great connection over the summer. Built a great connection. It's been I think we both have to first adjust to each other, playing out of pick and rolls, and like just kind of learning about the way we like to play. Because he definitely needs the space to shoot, and kind of like he's really good at it whenever anybody goes under. So in practice, whenever I can, if I see anybody like trying to decide if they should go over or under, I will try to maybe take a step higher. That way I can just stay there in front of him, let him shoot behind me, because that way there's no contest, and he shoots it at such a high rate and so efficiently that I think it's very hard for other teams to guard. And when he gets downhill, he's a really good floater, and he's such a good decision maker, and he stays very patient that it's amazing playing with him.
Couple more, ABC 11. You talked a little bit about the history here. Do you remember walking into the Smith Center on your visit, or just walking in here and practicing, what your thoughts were?
I think the thing that stick out to me the most was the final four floors that are like in the gym from the years that they won it, and then just seeing how big the gym was, like having 22,000 people in the gym. I feel like it's crazy, and like I can't imagine playing in front of 22,000 people, and I'm very excited to do it.
You know, you're speaking earlier about just Seth and how excited you are to play with him, just his on-court ability. What about him as a leader that stood out so far that just makes him a guy that you want to play with?
Oh, he's great for the team. I'll say we have a slow day at the gym. He will start clapping. He will talk. He will get everybody energized. Just on the court as well, like he will keep everybody to a higher standard. It's kind of having like another coach on the floor. Like he'll be like, oh guys, like we can't do this. We have to keep he basically just gotta say like we can't get loose during practice. We have to like stay focused and keep pushing every way. And like he's really good at it, where he's also bringing his energy levels. He's a very high energy player on defense, offense, and he kind of just rubs off on everybody where you want to be better, because if you see him doing it, like you can't let him down, kind of.
Henry, Brandon Garner with the Daily Tar. How do you kind of see yourself fitting in offensively, and where do you see yourself in terms of all these new pieces, and how do you kind of expect to put a mark on your offensive game this year?
I would say I feel like we're definitely gonna see it as a team how we play. There's gonna be room for me to shoot. Definitely gonna be rolling a lot with the guards we have getting downhill. I think we're gonna have great floor spacing with the shooters we have, and I think we're gonna have a good connection also with the Caleb as like bigs. When either of us are with the ball or without the ball, we kind of can see each other moving around and see where the open spaces are. I think we're just gonna have a very efficient offense this year.
Henry, you've been part of last year with Toby and with Grievous in the past, like you've been a part of a front court tandem before. How have the various pieces sort of worked? I mean, you've been Caleb a few times, but Jaron, cycling some of the guys in, like, is it conceivable that all three of you could play together at certain times, for instance?
All three as in.
Like you, Caleb, and Jaron, maybe?
Oh yeah, we could definitely play that. We have had the lineup multiple times in practice too. It's a very tall lineup, but it works great because it kind of has mismatches whenever we drive, and defensively you have great rim protection with us three on the court, and you don't really compromise any shooting because all of us can make it.
Andrew, last one.
Yeah, Luke has been here for not quite a month yet. What are your impressions seeing him out there on the court, and also seeing him assimilate? He's probably dealing with some of the same things you dealt with a few years ago.
Yeah, he's a great player. He's a little bit older than everybody. Like, not everybody, but I would say like for a freshman. So he's definitely an experienced player, and he kind of knows what it takes to win and like practice for with a team and kind of what standard we need to be at. I think he's definitely going to have a little bit of adjustment period coming to the U.S., kind of adjusting to the rules and the physicality, and just having all these athletes and kind of having to be able defensively also move your feet, and offensively having less time and space. But
What jumps out though about his game when you watch him, when you first saw him play?
how under control he's at all times. When he's maneuvering pick and rolls, he kind of nothing can really speed him up. He kind of stays at the free throw line, make his decision. He will like go for a jumper or like floaters or pass out of it, but he's very under control. Like you can't really speed him up. I think that's one of his great qualities.
Some of the experience.
Yeah.
Thanks, Henry. Thanks, Henry.